Yes, thank you. It's very good to be here, and thank you, Martin, for making this easy bridge for me, because I'm going to... Oh, the first slide is... Oh yeah, there he is. I'm going to tell you about not the green revolution, but the re-green revolution, which is really making use of the nature-based solutions that are available in trying to solve a huge problem that we're facing today, and that is worldwide land degradation. If you look at this map, you see that there is about 2 billion hectares of land degraded in the world. All the yellow, orange, and red parts are degraded land. You see there is severe pressure also in the USA, in Asia, but when you look at Africa, there is only the green heart left of Africa, but the gray parts are desert, but you see there's huge land that is severely degraded, and we have to face that and see what the results are, because this degraded land is resulting in big climate issues, food insecurity, leading to poverty worldwide, causing a lot of insecurity for many people living, especially in Africa. That's where I'm going to tell you more about. We took up this severe challenge as an opportunity, because we know that 37% of nature-based solution can help to mitigate climate change in 2030. That means that if we are able to restore degraded land, there is a big solution we can offer, and fortunately it can't be an accident, a coincidence. The UN declared last April the next decade of 2020 to 2030 as the decade of ecosystem restoration. So we are really looking into options now, how we can scale up landscape restoration in Africa. That's what Just Dig It, the organization I'm working for, is doing with partners locally. But what we think is even more important is getting together all the partners to put landscape restoration on the political agenda, on the international agenda, on the national agenda, and also on the local agenda. Involve as many partners as can be possible to work on degraded lands, ultimately resulting in inspiring and activating 350 million subsistence farmers to start regreening their land by themselves. Now, before I dive more into this and invite you all to become part of this regreen revolution, I want to show you a short film that gives a little bit of insights about our work.
If we can warm up the earth, we can also cool it down. Together with local partners in Kenya, we have dug 72,000 water bunds so that rainwater can enter the ground, making dry land green again. We've also designed and implemented a few grass seed banks. The results are mind-blowing. More biodiversity, more income, more food, and a cooler land. And all of this in just a few years' time. Our method works. Time to step up and scale up. Next stop, Tanzania. Here we're visiting villages in rural areas with a movie roadshow, triggering entire communities to take action. Together with Lead Foundation, we are educating and activating over 100,000 farmers to restore degraded land by themselves. To raise awareness and to create a grassroots movement, we run sponsored advertising and media campaigns throughout the country.
Tembelea tovuti ya justdigit.org/Tanzania.
Everyone is in. Farmers, local authorities, religious leaders, celebrities and artists, from international media partners to local NGOs and communities. Together we are creating a landscape restoration movement. Recently we developed an innovative mobile app. Via this app, farmers get paid for restoring their land by people around the world who want to fund landscape restoration. So now the entire world can support us with the click of a button. But there's more, because there's no movement without rhythm. In 2020, we will introduce rain dance concerts. To empower farmers and to bring our story to the world, global and local artists will perform at Africa's most iconic landmarks, but especially in the rural areas that can be restored. From Tanzania to Morocco, and from Kenya to South Africa. Currently, we're developing a restoration blueprint that can easily be tailored to each AFR 100 country. This blueprint includes our learnings on how to inspire, educate, and activate local farmers to restore their land and how to build a grassroots movement. So, dear partners of AFR 100, if you want to bring 100 million hectares into restoration by 2030, and we only have 12 years to go, we need to act swiftly, decisively, and above all, together. So let's scale up and let's get this movement started. Cooling down the planet. Just dig it.
Yeah, this gives a little bit of an idea of how we are working. You can see one of the flagship programs. We're working in Kenya and Tanzania. And also in the film, you hear about the AFR 100, which is the African Forest Landscape Restoration Initiative that was established in 2015 by the African Union, with combining the efforts of 29 African countries in pledging landscape restoration in their countries. So they committed to restore over 100 million of hectares of land by 2030. Which is an incredible amount and which will give farmers a lot of income security and reduce climate change, hopefully. But how are we going to do that? Because there are a lot of effort is needed to do that. So before I want to explain a bit more about the movement we're starting, I want to show you a little bit more about our program in Tanzania. That's the Regreening Dodoma program. In where we work in an area about the same size as Holland. You can see it there in the middle. We work in 7 districts there, and our aim is, together with 200,000 farmers and their families, impacting about 1 million of people in that region, in 5 years, bringing back 14 million trees in their farms. Because all the trees disappeared over the past 50 years, but the stumps are still there. So there is a way of bringing back those trees. It's called farmer-managed natural regeneration, which is one of the very effective ways of regreening land and make dry land green again and suitable for farming. A good result of this is that it retains billions liters of water. It recovers the short water cycle. It's of course, when there are more trees, it also has a cooling effect. It gets large amounts of CO2 out of the air. And by doing that, we empower the communities to get back their more income, have their yields. You see their yields growing immediately. So it is a very effective way of bringing back into the economy the millions of farmers living there. How do we do that? We train in every village we work. There in that region there are about 600 villages, and we are active in 300 of them. We train 4 what we called our champion farmers in the village. And they learn with a very easy technique to prune the trees so that they can bring back, to prune all the sprouts that are coming from the tree stumps. And by that, you can bring back easily the growth of a tree in a few years' time. So within 3 to 5 years' time, an acacia is about a height of 3 to 4 meters again. Here you can see the women working on it. And here you see all our champion farmers. There are over 1,300 with certificates. And that means that in every village we have over 4 champion farmers that can pass on the knowledge in the farmers in the village. Well, it seems to as a good idea, and it works well, but the actually adoption rate of the other farmers in the village was not that high. It was about 5% after the training, after they went back into the field. So together with our local partner, Lead Foundation, we thought this should be better. So what can we do, and how can we really inspire and activate the farmers? And we came up with the idea of showing them, it was of course not possible to take all the farmers to farms where where they're already practicing FMNR, but we made a movie. And we showed a movie roadshow. Here you can see it's a little movie. I will show you short pieces of it, of a farmer who comes from the neighborhood and who visits another farmer that is practicing FMNR about 7 years already. Just to give you a little bit insight of how the movie looks like. It's just a few seconds.
Kwa jina mimi naitwa Ashe Balaguyu Mahona, ni mkazi wa kata ya Mazai. Naishi kitongoji cha Fsele A. Pia nimeoa na mke na watoto wawili. Na nina shamba lenye ukubwa wa ekari 6. Shughuli zangu za kilimo, nalima mazao yafuatayo. Nalima mtama, karanga na mahindi. Huwa nakutana na changamoto nyingi, ikiwemo ardhi kukosa rutuba.
This just gives an indication of all the farmers, how they're living. And then, of course, it's about a 40 minutes movie. I won't bother you with the whole story, but it really takes them into the ways of looking in a new way at their farming. And then it ends, if it comes, the film ends with this and shows the possibility that they can work too.
Kwenda wela anga ulichuka. Jinsi zono halelewae. Zono hena chijani chipendeze. Waetu wene wena mlungu wao. Kwanza nengena waewo.
So what you see here is the different trees that are combined with farming, agroforestry, which works very well in this to bring back fertile farmland. And so we thought, when this is such a success, when we turn, because after a year, of course we do a lot of research in this region, we found that over 40% of the farmers was adopting these techniques. So that's an incredible increase. And we thought, how can we involve our whole network and all the communication power we have to reach, in fact, every farmer, every subsistence farmer, to inform him or her that they can start regreening themselves. So we have a very strong media and communication network. We already do a lot of completely sponsored campaigns in the Netherlands. And we are lucky to have Havas, partners as Havas and JC Deco as our partners, who totally sponsor our campaigns and offered their network in Africa. They are present in 24 different African countries to involve their network also to put up the same media and communication campaign in those countries. So together with them and supported by, well, you see just a few of the partners, we really think that we can use the power of communication to start. You see a little example here, to start informing farmers, empowering them, inspiring them and activating them to start regreening themselves. Because we think from project to project is of course a super way, but it is not efficient, it's not cost efficient. And we finally hope to go into what we call contactless regreening, so that every farmer, wherever he or she lives, is able to start regreening themselves. Here you see all the different parts all the different partners that together form the Regreen Revolution.
I believe we can...
Sorry. To finish this presentation with a little message of our patron, Desmond Tutu, who supports us from the beginning, and we are very proud to have him with Just Dig It. So I want to finalize my presentation with his words.
We can save the world with a shovel. No, I'm not a crazy old fool. I'm Desmond Tutu, and I know we can reverse climate change. Just dig it.
Thank you.